Hey, my name is Kiawana. I'm 29 years old and I'm from Washington, D.C. I am the CEO and founder of Empower to Inspire. My business is based on women empowerment, kingdom advancement, and also encouraging people to face their traumatic experiences to actually heal and grow and glow and to evolve into their purpose and their destiny. I myself had experienced a huge amount of traumatic experiences where I really had to dig down to the roots and face my fears and face my truths to overcome and become the woman that I am today, to be able to walk boldly and proudly in my story, be able to share my story as well as my testimony to help inspire and encourage someone else that may have went through what I've been through, going through what I've been through, or just need that strength to carry the weight of the load of what it is that you're going through. To touch bases on some things that I did go through, I did have a lot of parental wounds, including mother wounds, father wounds, rejection, abandonment, and from those I seeked love in the wrong places where I found myself in domestic violence relationships, where I found myself trying to cope through alcohol and drugs and sex to find my own personal identity and gain strength and understanding of who I was because of what I've been through. So that's basically what my business is about, what Empower to Inspire is, where I'm open and transparent to share my truth, to allow you to share your truth and understand that there is purpose in your pain, and everything that you may be facing right now is not the end of the road. It's not the end of your story. You too can overcome what it is that you're facing today, just as I have. I am a living, walking testimony. You can look at me now. You would not have known anything that I've been through until you read or know my story. So just as I did it, you too can do it. So you are inspired, and I encourage you to grow, glow, and evolve just as I did and I am continuing to do along on my journey. So as far as I can remember, I did share just a little bit of my childhood trauma in my first best-selling novel, Confidence Unlocked. I touched bases on my parental wound of the father wound. At a time, I was desperate, or I was pressed to be daddy's little girl, and I was eager for daddy to love me and accept me the way how I imagined a father to be. And due to certain circumstances, mommy and daddy wasn't in the same household. So at times I would always think that daddy didn't love me or daddy didn't want to be bothered with me because daddy was nowhere near to be found. So due to this, with dad one already not being present or active in my life as I desired him to be, and then when I would get around dad would send me to either my aunt's house or my cousin's house. I searched for love in the wrong places, where I found myself getting into relationships after relationships and going to this place because I was trying to fill a void, but the only thing that I could remember was the way how daddy taught me. And because I was going after a man's love, still looking for daddy's love, I could only respond to love the way how I seen daddy to love me. We wouldn't apologize, we wouldn't communicate, we would say what we say and dismiss the conversation, dismiss your feelings. It is what it is. You either take it or leave it. I am who I am. And that's what I seen in mom, grandma, and auntie. Nobody wanted to grow. Nobody wanted to change their own ways because that's what they were accustomed to. And once again, because that's what they're accustomed to does not make it right. So that was my story of being or idolizing some women in my family. Then it goes into the church. We go to church on Sunday. We're there on Wednesday for Bible study. We're there on Saturday for choir rehearsals. Then we back in church on Sunday. We're there for 8 o'clock service. We're there for 12 o'clock service. We're there for 3 o'clock. And then we got to have dinner. And I did not want to be in church all day every day because you in church faking it. Then you go home to me Monday beating my butt because of whatever reasoning. Then you back in church or Bible study on Wednesdays putting on this front and this facade again. Back to the same thing come Thursday and Friday. Then you put on the whole show for church people on Saturday and again on Sunday. That's why one thing I do say now is mask off season. Be true and authentic to you. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, in church, out of church, whoever. Don't be somebody that you really not, because then when you go home, you got to face your truth. And your truth, it doesn't just really affect you, but you're affecting the people that's around you. And also, you don't see it until you're able to face and admit your truth. So that's why I say, this is something that you see in your family, and you see that it's like a constant tradition, and you're not comfortable in it. That's because it's not right, and it's not sitting right with you. So it's you that's supposed to be that generational chain breaker in your family. You're supposed to stop that trend. Like, that ends with you. And also, that's nothing that I highly respect of this generation, because a lot of things that we see in our family, we're not going for it. We're not rocking it. We are the ones to put it into it. We are the ones to stop it and making a change in it. So this is how I did it. Many other people are doing it. You are called to be the generational chain breaker of your family. So becoming a mother, after experiencing my own childhood trauma, at first I started to become a mother off of how I knew to be a mother. Meaning I started to be that mom that always yelled, that always beat, because that was all that I knew. But then once I started to move in my purpose and move in my calling of breaking that generational chain, I knew I had to stop being what I seen in the generation. If I was stopping it and putting a pause to it, I had to stop yelling. I had to stop beating. And I had to be open to communicating. I had to be open to feedback. I had to be open to let my child express herself. Yes, that is my child, but still, children have feelings. And now moving forward, we can't just shut out our kids because our kids feel a certain type of way. We as parents have to be accepting of what it is that our children are telling us, how they feel, their emotions. We can't just shut out our kids because our kids feel a certain type of way. We as parents have to be accepting of what it is that our children are telling us, how they feel, their emotions. We can't just shut them out because it affects them when they grow up. Well, hello. It affected me growing up, so I refuse to be that mom that always yell and always beat and always discipline for no apparent reason. I'm not saying that my child gets away with murder, but I do definitely check and correct her. However, it's still a level of not being disrespectful, yet you're still voicing your opinion and voicing your feelings. I'm not going to just shut you out because you're a child. And I'm going to say, oh, you're not being in a child's place. So that's something that I once did have to check myself on, because I found myself falling along and about to link another chain to the loop of the generational chain of being that parent that just beats and shuts you out for no apparent reason. So that's the difference that I do in being a mom and letting my daughter voice herself and voice her opinion, but also still check her and make it be in a respectful manner, but I don't just shut her out. My childhood best friend passed in 2017. And when she passed, it was just like, whoa, what am I doing with myself? What am I doing with my life? What is my purpose? If it was me to go today or tomorrow, what would anybody say about me? More importantly, what is God's approval of me? Because my life, I was not living my life right. I really was not. So when she passed, that was my breaking point to really check myself, and where I had to inspire myself to become and be better, because I had to set a better example. My daughter was not born yet, but I had to set a better example for my peers, my family, my community, and even still now moving into my business. That's when I launched out my business in 2017. I had to set that example of being the face of Empower to Inspire. So I had to become better to be the face of my business. I created Inspire because I don't want Empower to Inspire to just be my face. Just as I went through what I've been through, and now I'm able to step out and encourage someone else and inspire them, I want somebody else to do it. So that's how I created Inspirer. Because everyone, at some point in your life, you inspire someone. You may not think you're inspiring someone, but you're inspiring someone. You may think you're doing something so little, but someone is looking at you. Someone admires you. Somebody sees your strength, and they're inspired by you. So that's how Inspirer came about. As far as
expressing yourself. Like if you had a shot to go through the same trauma, what would you do differently though?
Communicate. And you know what? Communication to a therapist, and to a therapist that didn't know me, don't know my family, don't know my history, don't know none of that. Back then, people thought going to a therapist was something so bad. You thought you were crazy. You thought it was something mentally wrong with you. But going to therapy, it's refreshing. It's relieving. You're able to communicate and let out those wounds that you can't talk to anyone else about. And they're there to support you. They are there to encourage you. They are there to uplift you. So that's the thing that I probably would have done differently. I would have not taken therapy as in me being crazy or something wrong with me back then, I would have went to a therapist to let out so much.
Do you feel like it helps?
Absolutely. Going to therapy do help. Going through or overcoming and healing your traumatic experiences, you need a support system. You need that team that's going to pull you out that pit. You can't do it alone. It's too much weight for you to do it by yourself. You need someone to hold you accountable. You need someone to give you that criticism and you're able to take it. You need that system to pull you up and become a better person. You can't do it by yourself. Once again, going to a therapist, yes, they're able to do it, but then you gotta tap into your spirituality. You have to build and connect on a higher relationship with God to really help you and heal from those wounds. That's the only way you're able to make it. That's the only way I was really able to make it. I'm gonna tell you, you gonna get past. It's called a generational chain breaker. That's what you're called to do. You're looking at mommy, auntie, grandma. You see what they go through, and mommy, auntie, grandma, they ignore their traumatic experiences. They hide it. They don't want you to see it. But you at the point where you see it and you're tired of seeing it, and that's because you are called to break it. So it's you that's going to step in and make that change and make that difference in your family, as I am doing. I seen it too. I seen mommy do it. I seen grandma do it. I seen aunties do it. And I didn't want to succumb to that. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be better than what it was that I seen, because seeing what I saw, it was not peace. It was not happiness. It was not joy. It was misery. It was pain. And I didn't want that for the rest of my life. Who wants to carry that on their backs? Who wants to carry that on their shoulder? No, I'm not saying being a generational chain breaker is going to be something easy. Baby, this journey is hard, okay? But it's so rewarding. Like, it's so refreshing. I would not. I couldn't do it without actually doing it, if that makes sense. And you have to be bold. Like, you have to have that courage and that strength to be different from what you see mommy, auntie, and grandma do. Just because they're doing it and that's all that you've seen and was raised on does not make it right.